This is the Wedding Remix.
The Wedding Remix, providing inspiration, education, and awareness of elite wedding professionals. Here's your hosts, Lizzy Liz, Jacob Haider, and Armando Cepeda. This is the Wedding Remix.
Hello, and thanks for joining us here at the Wedding Remix. Sorry. Hello, and thank you for joining us here at the Wedding Remix. We're so excited for you to be here. We're so excited for another episode. Let's get into it. And of course, we are here to inspire, to educate, to create awareness of wedding professionals in our industry and to share this amazing information, their career paths, their stories. Tell a friend, tell a neighbors, tell somebody who is in the industry or maybe aspires to be in the industry. It's an awesome time to be connected. Our first guest is none other than Suher, Haidar of Refined by Suher.
After a career in the banking world, Suher ventured into the event industry in 2013 by starting her own planning company and later joined the team at Francine Rabeau Events. Over the years in the industry, Suher has become known as a super connector, meeting everyone she could and helping others network while building a community for the wedding and events industry. In 2018, she launched Refined by Suher with the goal of changing the way event professionals connect and grow by providing monthly educational workshops, networking events, one-on-one personalized coaching sessions, as well as PR consulting for other companies.
And now our conversation with Suher Haidar from Refined by Suher with our hosts Lizzy Liz and Jacob Haider.
Suher, welcome to the Wedding Remix.
Thank you for having me.
I am digging your outfit. I love all the colors.
I know.
I know. Look at we need a shoe cam.
I know, like that.
Tell us a little bit more about your upbringing and how events played a role in your life while growing up.
Well, I come from a family of 6 kids, and my mom was mostly a stay-at-home mom until I was a little, like probably several years old, and actually a little bit older than that. And she went out into the workforce, and she just worked really hard, opened up hair salons and beauty salons called Gorgeous. Ooh. So when they would call, they'd say, hello Gorgeous. Oh. Exactly from the movie Married to the Mob. I take credit because I think I came up with that, but my family think otherwise. Our house was constantly full of people. The doors were always open, just like in those memes you see on social media. Mm-hmm. Doors used to stay open and no one would get robbed. That's exactly how our house was. People would be in and out all the time. Mm-hmm. Lots of food on the table, music everywhere. And when my mom would throw a party, like we'd all be like, oh God, we're having a party. Okay, let's just like drink a lot of coffee because she's gonna make us work. And I do the same thing to my kids now. So, but our house was full of celebrations, and my mom did it all herself, from the cooking to the flowers to the linens, just setting up the tables.
She went all out.
She went on. My poor daddy, he would go to the store and pick out all the flowers, and he learned so much about flower arrangements and parsleys and all that stuff. And she always exceeded everyone's expectations because she did something, and then the next event she would have to do better and better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's where I kind of got my passion for it, just watching her do it by herself. Now, lucky in our industry, we have a team, but I swear, I think some of us wish we could just do it all ourselves and see how it comes out. Yeah. It'll never work out, but.
Was there a particular role that you had to play for your mom? Like, did she assign you to do something because you specialize in something?
I was really good at the food. Okay. Yeah, at food prepping, and she always says no one can put a plate together like Suher. And she was also a makeup artist, and she would take me with her as her little assistant. Aww. And she said, just you stay next to the makeup because she'd have to do 10, 20 faces, and I would be there like helping her pick out the colors and giving her the little brushes that she needs and stuff, and I'd clean everything. So I was her little assistant. I got to see the bride, and
she was good at all sorts of things.
She's amazing,
wasn't she?
Yeah. Very much.
But then
so.
she like tricked you into
very much
was like training.
It was training.
I'll get free labor.
Yes, and I'm like, I'll get you ice cream later. I'm like, Mom, are we getting ice cream? No, we have to go home. I'm like, heck.
Except for the last 7 times I helped you.
I know.
You owe me 10 ice cream cones.
At least.
Minimum.
Exactly.
I'm curious to know more about your past jobs. I feel like you started working in the industry with your mom.
Right.
And as a adult, what did you do to kind of help you set this path?
goodness, where do I start? I started marketing and advertising, and I tried to get into the whole copywriting or the marketing part of it. And every time I would do that, they would throw me in sales, constantly saying, you just have the knack, you have the personality. So I did that. And then I came to America, and I didn't really do any really like career things until, well, I worked at Closet World. Not many people know. I design closets. I'm that good.
Oh, you're supposed to be amazing now.
Yeah.
Did you play Tetris growing up?
Oh my, yes. I would have to put like the cabinets together. It was so much fun. But after that, I got into banking. And I worked for Wells Fargo. And granted, they sucked the life out of you. They did teach me a few things about the lifestyle in America, which was really helpful to be a wedding planner. Before I actually did that, though, I tried to be a wedding planner back in 2004, but my second son was a newborn, and I just couldn't do it. It was really difficult. So I put a pause on that, and I always knew I was going to get back to it. I just didn't know when. I got into banking, and they taught you just how to read people, how to read the way they sit in the chair, if they're interested in your conversation, if not. And those things I definitely help in the wedding industry when you're speaking with clients, speaking with vendors. You feel like the aura, how they're reacting to you.
Yeah. How are we sitting in the chair?
You guys are
How's
great.
that?
You guys are great. Those chairs, they match your outfits. You guys are fabulous. The shoes are on point. I love this.
Not as good as yours. But.
I know. So yeah, that's what it was. Banking. Yeah. It was interesting. It was very interesting.
And then after banking, how did you get into the event world, or back into the event world?
So Nahid from Nahid Global Events, she's a wedding planner, and she's a family friend of ours. She's known my family longer than she's known me. And we were at dinner once, and she's like, I really need help for a wedding in Hotel Indigo. I'm like, I'll do it. I had no idea what I was getting into, because Nahi doesn't do like cute little small backyard weddings. She does these elaborate weddings, and I went in, I'm like, oh, what are we doing? How many guests? 300?
Crash course into weddings, right?
300? She goes, do you fold napkins? I'm like, sure.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, let's fold napkins. And I asked some like server there, I'm like, hey, can you show me how to fold napkins? And she's like, just do it, you got this. And then.
How long ago was this?
That was I think it was in 2011 or 12.
Okay.
And I loved it. I loved the excitement. I loved having to run from one section. I loved solving problems for people. Yeah. The bride had a question, I was helpful, and I enjoyed that. It was like really good satisfaction, and I felt very grateful to be there. So I did that, and then like a couple of weeks later, she's like, you know what, you did so well, can you help me with another one? I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Pat yourself on the back.
I know, I'm like, you like me. So I started doing that, and then it sort of gave me that spark to get back into it. Yeah. And that's kind of what got me back into the wedding industry again. Nice. Yeah, I just needed that little kick, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nahid.
I know, thanks, Nahid.
Shout out.
So then, what led you to starting Refined by Suher, and did you have like an aha moment that you were like, I need to do this?
Well, yes, I did. When I was working with Nahid, I did my own business. I had a partner at the time, and we started the business, and I met Kristana from Kristana Marie Events, and I met her at the big bridal show in the convention center. Yeah. The Bridal Expo, and she was working for Spotlight Studios, and she's like, I kind of want to be a wedding planner, but no one wants to help me figure it out. And I called her, I'm like, let's just do this, let's figure it out. You have to go here, you have to get your license. And I barely knew what I was talking about, but I knew enough that I knew that she needed some kind of like, just a hug almost, just like, you got this. Yep. And that stuck in my head for years. And after that, I stopped doing it with my partner, and then I started working with Francine Rabeau Events as her lead planner, I should say, at the time. Yeah. And then it started dawning to me that it's really difficult to get into the industry, because, we're a little clique of people here. And I started thinking ideas, and I sat down with Catherine Bachelier Smith, and we spoke about some things, and then she just looked at me, she goes, what are you waiting for? I'm like, nothing. She goes, dude, time. You have time.
Yeah, the gift, the great gift.
The gift, do it. And I'm like, really? She's like, do it. I would be disappointed if you didn't do it. And I said, you know what, let me figure it out. And I came up with a plan, and the beginning of what I came up with Refine is so different than what it is now.
Yeah.
In a good way. Either way would have been great, but it went in a completely different direction, and I was really happy with it. So that's kind of like how I got into Refined.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of The Wedding Remix, and now a few words from our sponsor.
It's all about the experience. Encore Entertainment's premier-level showmanship and talent is guaranteed to create a one-of-a-kind experience for your event. Encore has provided award-winning entertainment to some of the most lavishly designed events worldwide and is equally celebrated as a trusted source of talent amongst the elite in the event industry. Encore provides incredible live music for extraordinary events with a continuous variety of evolving live and virtual music options. Connect with the Encore team and begin creating the soundtrack for your next live or virtual event. Visit us at encorexp.com.
And now more from our conversation with Suher Haidar.
Well, can you tell us a little bit more about Refined by Suher and what you do?
Yes, I love this. So Refined by Suher I'm a company that works with people in the wedding and event industry. I'm currently based out of San Diego only. We don't know where that's going to go later on. I'm thinking of doing different locations all around the country. And what I do is build communities of people, make it an easier process for people to communicate with each other and not to feel awkward to reach out to a planner who's been in the industry for 20 years, as opposed to someone who's starting new and says, you know, I really like this wedding planner. Like, she's my friend, I got this. Let me call this person and sit down. You need to have a coffee with this person. And I'll speak to that person and like build that connection for them. And also with Refined, my goal is to be there for people. I get people calling me almost every day saying, hey, I have a question about this bride. I have, you know, an issue with a vendor. How do I deal with this? Mm-hmm. And they come to me for advice, which I feel very blessed because it makes me feel like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're like the little black book of information.
I'm the little purple book of information. And it's been an interesting process because I thought I was going to do little workshops, but then the workshops got better and bigger, and then the cafe crawls came into place. And they were so much fun because it's an intimate group of people. We meet in one location in San Diego. We drive around. We walk around from one coffee shop to the other. We get hyped up on coffee, champagne, and cheese. And we talk about things throughout the process. We build a curriculum prior to that. So we have some kind of like structure during the process. And what I get from all of this is a group of people that are willing to better themselves without creating that competitiveness that's out there. Mm-hmm. Being competitive is important, but there's a way of doing it. Yeah. And that's what I think Refine does. Shows a much more easier and smarter community over competition process.
I love that. Yeah. So you're happy with how things have been going so far?
I am. Without COVID, but yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your workshops? You mentioned that. Just what do you discuss in those? How do you get people to come to them? Mm-hmm.
Well, with the workshops, I ask people in the industry, what do you want to learn? What do you guys want to see? And the last workshops I've done have been a collection of people giving me their tips on what they want to learn. I ask a handful of wedding planners, like, what do you hear out there? And I do my own like inside research. Mm-hmm. I make sure that I'm offering a product or a service of education that helps people when they leave there with an idea. Yeah. And I always tell people that almost every workshop you go to has a very similar background, a foundation of education. Mm-hmm. So coming to these workshops is just a refresher, and it's just presented in a different way. Mm-hmm. With my workshops, it's presented in a refined way, in a way that makes it a little bit more easier, a little bit more understanding. People have more access to me as the person who's putting these events together, as opposed to being a corporate company where I'm like, you know, ranked up high and then I have like 6 steps to get to me kind of thing.
And then you mentioned that Refined by Suher, you feel like it's a bit more easy for people to access you, and that's something that makes you different from other companies and other workshops. Mm-hmm. What are a few other things that Refined by Suher does uniquely that other workshops don't do?
My one-on-ones are really important to me. I have people that reach out to me, and we have a accountability process. So I put a schedule together for them, and I say, okay, this is going to take you 2 weeks. I'm going to get back to you in 2 weeks, and let's see how that goes. Mm-hmm. And that's usually something I stick by. And I feel like I offer that accountability And it's an ongoing process. Just because you do a couple of one-on-ones doesn't mean that I'm going to disappear after that. I want to know if my advice worked.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, tapping myself on the shoulder saying, oh, I gave a good advice. I feel really good.
You have to have that follow-up. It's important.
Exactly. And I think my loyalty in following up is really good, and that sets me aside from a lot of other people.
Yeah.
We've been hearing a lot more about community over competition, which you mentioned recently, which I know is a central part of Refined by Suher. But isn't there something to say about healthy competition in the industry as well?
Absolutely. I'm a very big fan of healthy competition. I'm the parent. It comes from parenting. I'm the parent that if I play a game with my kid ever since they were young, if I win, I win. And I don't let them win just because they're cute and little or because they're trying to get better at this. No. If I win, I win.
Oh, that's good.
And it kind of gives them a backbone of they have to work harder, and if they lose, then they lost. And I'm a very big believer of first place is first place and you've done well. But I'm also a big believer of and I'll set this up in the wedding industry. If I am with another wedding planner and we're trying to book a client, and I've seen this in the past, and it was something that kind of also brought up Refined for me. One of those planners booked the client and the other one didn't. And then they kind of had this animosity towards each other for a very long time. And my comment was, why would you be so upset if a friend or a person who's trying to be as successful as well succeeded and booked a big client?
Got that good business for themselves.
Exactly. I'm like, you know what? Your karma, this anger that you have with this, I can't believe that she took this client. I'm like, she didn't take this client. She earned this client.
Yeah, the client chose them.
Exactly. The client chose them because they reacted to her in a different way. And that kind of competition is really important to me, because if someone does earn the client, then they earned it. And we need to take a step back and be happy for them. And I'll be the first one to say, at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, this person took my bride. I was so pissed. And then I shifted my energy and my thought into, wow, you know what? This wedding planner is going to do a great job. And then in a few months, we were back in the same situation, and I booked the client. And I said, oh, I booked this client. And I'm like, no, you lost. But then I realized, hang on.
Can you show us your victory dance, Liv?
Like that. It's much better without heels. But I realized that this person was in that same exact situation, and they must have felt really awkward when they lost. Or not they lost, when they didn't book the client. And it took me back to how I felt, and it changed my mind completely. It's very important to have competition, but it's also important to lose gracefully. I think it's not as much as being competitive, it's much as knowing when you haven't gotten what you wanted and working a way to get better next time. Finding a way to get better. Like, what was it that was missing? Is it my personality? Was it my prices? Was it the type of weddings I hosted? What was it? Was it the way I communicated with the couple? There's so many factors, and it's a learning experience.
And sometimes you're just not the right fit.
You're just not the right
Can't
fit.
put yourself up.
Exactly.
At the end of last year, you hosted your first Refined Awards event, where you recognized several of the San Diego's top event professionals in a variety of different categories.
Yes.
Why did you want to start the Refined Awards in the first place?
So that, I love the Oscars. First of all, let's start with that. I love dresses and ball gowns and getting dressed up and tuxes and what have you. And but the reality is that I wanted that whole competition thing to come in a healthy way.
Sure.
And I wanted the community to vote. And people said, just you vote. I said, no, it's not about me.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
It is, but it's not. It's about the community. It's about people that work really hard. I need the people in our industry to recognize each other. And it was such an interesting process. It was my first one, and I know what I'll do for the next one. Fingers crossed next year. But it was definitely my purpose for that was because I wanted to show people what hard work gets you, and how much being a good person actually works. The people that won the awards last year, they're all wonderful humans. forget their company, just move their company aside. Them as individuals are spectacular. They're giving, they're understanding, they're patient, they're caring, they're honest, they're loyal, like they're such good traits. And I wanted to focus on that. So that was my refined awards moment.
And that was so important because the community was voting for them. It wasn't just you.
Exactly.
Their competition, their supporters, everyone.
I was so eager to vote, but I'm like, oh, I can't do it.
So what tips or tricks do you have for people when going into networking opportunities so they can make the best of those situations?
So, and this starts before you even go to the event. Know what you're wearing. Know that if you're going to be in a grass area, wear shoes that are comfortable so you're not focusing on not falling.
Yeah.
So you can focus on the actual reason why you're there.
Yeah.
But I think it's when there's a rule of thumb that you have to come out with at least 5 new contacts, 5 people that you've never met before that you've wanted to meet. If you get access to the list of guests that are going to be there, take that list and go through it and see who you want to speak with or, introduce yourself to. And learn a little bit about them. Go on their Instagram. Go on onto their About page. And, they're a family, they have kids. She's a local photographer, she photographed in Europe, things like that. Find that kind of conversation so that when you speak with them, they see that you've made the effort to get to know them. And we're all human. If someone says, oh, I love your photos, like, oh, what photos was that? We're interested to see. Tell me more about me. And that's exactly how it is. We are only human. That's kind of how we evolve as well. And I think it's important that you go in there with that mindset to speak with people. And if you're nervous, do whatever it takes to break that nervousness, because what's going to happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? You're going to say the wrong thing?
It happens.
It happens. I have said the worst things ever when I first started in this industry. I used the wrong word. I went in to see Suzanne Duffy when I first met her. She's like, I'm doing this huge, amazing, spectacular wedding in the Hotel Del. You can come by and see it. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to. And I show up all dressed up like I was going to a party. And she's like, it's wedding day. And she's like running around doing things. And I used the wrong word. I'm like, this is an amazing, and I was supposed to say amazing event. And I don't know why the word came out. It said fiasco.
Maybe you meant fiesta.
Maybe I could have said fiesta. And then Suzanne looks at me, she goes, what? This is not a fiasco. And I'm like, no, it's not. Bye. We joke about it now. But, look at it. I said something accidentally. It just came out wrong. But it's not what I meant. I was just very nervous to meet her. And I, now we're friends and now we laugh about it. So if you're going to say something wrong, you're going to say something wrong. Yeah. People get over it. People will move on. But you just have to throw yourself out there. You have to go out there and just meet people, get to know them. And even if you're an introvert, do it in an introvert kind of way. Wait for that person to be alone.
Yeah.
So it's not a group of people together, because maybe you'll feel uncomfortable speaking to a group of people. And just take it from there. And follow up with them. It's extremely important. Oh my gosh. When they did the Panican event early this year, I left with about 40 contacts. And I thought I knew everyone in town. I left with 40 contacts of people that I followed up with, I called, I connected, I did some business with some of them. It's how we learn.
So with being such a super connector and such a hard worker, I can imagine it must be really tough for you to sort of turn off throughout the day or at the end of the day. I think a lot of us in the industry have this problem as well, especially owning our own businesses. How do you ensure you have a healthy work schedule, and how do you balance your work schedule and your personal life?
Do you want the truth or the pretend version?
The truth, and then some advice to get to the pretend version.
So I think it's definitely a learning process to get to that place where you take some time for yourself and have that balance in work. And this is just my theory, and I know that many people don't share this. I've been a strong believer that when you're starting something out at the beginning, you don't have time to rest. You really don't. You do, but you're not going to.
Yeah, with any business.
With any business. And it's kind of like what I tell my brides. I'm like, I'm here to lower your stress level on your wedding day. I wish I can take it completely away from you, but I can't, because you're going to stress on your own.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when someone's starting out a business, you're going to work ridiculous hours and never have time to sleep and lose a few pounds because you're not getting food in and all that stuff. But it's okay, because when you step onto the platform that you want to step onto, you'll find time after that.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult. And I think for me, my coffee is very important in the morning. I like a quiet house that's clean. It's been really difficult with construction, but I like to sit down in my house with a cup of coffee and just listen to the outside world, you know, kind of coming into my life. And then something that my mum taught me was, before you take care of anyone in your life, take care of yourself first. Do your hair, do your makeup, you know, figure out your outfit. Do you, so that you can take care of everyone else, because you're not going to have time in your busy day to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And if you've got a place to be, you're not going to have your meat, you're going to be rushing and all that stuff. So it's important to take care of yourself first so that you're there for everyone else.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we forget to love ourselves
Absolutely.
first.
Yeah.
Like anything, right? You can't jump into a relationship until you love yourself first. Can't start a business until you take care of yourself first. And then, especially like being a planner, being a connector, you have to take care of yourself first, and then you're able to put that energy into someone else. Because if you put 100% for yourself, then you're able to do that back into your community.
Absolutely. And I think that you have to listen to your body as well. I get drained sometimes, and when I do, I just kind of sit down, I watch a TV show or put a movie on, and I have my coffee, I have my popcorn and my sparkling water or my champagne, and then I just sit down and just be lazy.
Yeah.
There are days where I've sat on the couch and done absolutely nothing.
Really?
And yeah, believe it or not, it's very, very common lately, but I would sit down and do, you know what? Hands up, I'm good. My kids want food, I'm like, there's food in the fridge. Like, they want to go to the store, call one of your friends.
They can take care of themselves.
You got this, yeah. And I just take a step back and I say, you know, I'm just going to be lazy today. I'm going to stay in my sweats and just do absolutely nothing. The house will be here tomorrow. The mess will be here.
Yes.
Work will be here. My couples will be here tomorrow. We're good.
You gotta have those days
Yeah.
sometimes.
But you don't get to that unless you've put in the hard work at the beginning. So that's something I want people to understand. And I know it sounds kind of very businessy and maybe a little selfish and, oh, you're not taking care of yourself. But at the beginning, you gotta cut yourself to heal, kind of thing. And you gotta keep going, and then you'll get to a place where you're able to sort of take a step back.
Yeah. Who or what inspires you today?
Today, the people in my life really inspire me. One person that stands out the most is Jillian from TVD. She is just this amazing energy of strength and positivity. And anytime someone calls her, she's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Doesn't even ask questions, doesn't worry about how or why, she just gets it done. So she's definitely been a major, major inspiration for me.
Yeah. Now, everyone who knows you knows your favorite color is purple. What's your second favorite color?
Fuchsia.
Oh,
Fuchsia and black.
good combos.
I know.
Where's the best place in San Diego to grab a cup of coffee?
Oh, wow, it's so difficult. Frosty Gourmet. Yeah, Frosty Gourmet, I think. Her coffee cups are amazing, and the ambiance is great.
And she has good sweets, too.
Oh my goodness, amazing sweets.
Aside from your two kids, what's the best gift that you've ever been given?
Time. I think time is the best gift you've ever been given. I recently watched a documentary, and the man said, the good thing is that you have time. The bad thing is that you sometimes forget to use it. So definitely time.
Now, if only we could get more of that. gift.
Exactly, yeah.
Use 3 adjectives to describe yourself.
Loyal, loving, and loud.
Ooh, triple L. Threats.
Exactly.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To turn back time. I think everyone does, yeah.
And then red wine or white wine?
Red.
We love your outfit today. We want to know, where's your favorite place to go shopping?
Well, I definitely love Zara. It's one of my favorite places. But I have to say, Target gets me every time. I go in to get some cleaning supplies, and I walk out with 5 T-shirts, a skirt and a dress, earrings and jewelry, and I'm like, why am I spending $300?
Yeah, I get you every time.
Exactly.
If you could have any guest speaker at one of your workshops, who would it be?
Oh my goodness, that's a really tough one. I think I would say Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, yes.
Please.
Because she's just this powerful source, and it's Oprah.
Yeah.
Who else, right?
No questions. What's your favorite snack?
Chips and salsa.
Where is one place in the world you would love to plan a workshop or wedding?
Australia.
What's one unique talent that you have? Can you show us?
Let's see if I can do it. I can crack my wrist. No, it's not going to work.
Oh.
Usually I crack it and it's really loud and my whole wrist goes down. So I'm like got a triple joint kind of thing going on.
It's camera shy. It's okay.
Okay, good. Like that.
We can edit that in.
Hang on, ready, set, click.
Yeah, click. What's one word or sound you hate?
When people chew next to me or chew loud.
Oh, yes. Same. If you had to go a day with only one thing in your purse besides your phone, what would it be?
Money.
Yes, cash is king.
Money.
And lastly, what's your favorite brand of salsa?
My homemade salsa is the best. Just a heads up. I'm not going to compete with anyone. It's good.
Well, Suher, thank you so much for sharing your incredible story,
Thank you.
more about your business, and more about yourself.
Cool. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
sharing
much
your
for having
story
me.
and
I really,
inspiring
really
us.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
This week's venue spotlight is the Hotel Indigo, Los Angeles. The Hotel Indigo Los Angeles is a unique wedding venue located in downtown LA. This boutique hotel is the perfect setting to host the wedding of your dreams. Hotel Indigo Los Angeles can accommodate up to 300 wedding guests in its indoor and outdoor event spaces. The hotel offers over 22,000 square feet of flexible event space, all with natural light. Hotel Indigo's 2 ballrooms are the ideal space to host your wedding ceremony or reception, with seating for up to 260 guests. The hotel's pool deck, which comes complete with cabanas, fire pits, and an outdoor bar, is also a great space to host an amazing wedding celebration. Hotel Indigo offers several unique spaces to couples planning their wedding, including their entertainment suites, with their 14-foot walls and glass bifold doors that open up onto a rooftop deck with fire pits. 18 Social, the hotel's top floor lounge, is available for groups of up to 200 persons. Hotel Indigo's luxurious bridal suite is the perfect place for the bridal party to get ready for the wedding in style. Our next guest is Marla Morokoff from Balloonzilla. Over 15 years ago, Marla founded Balloonzilla, the premier boutique where balloon art is at the height of sophistication. Paired with designer services, Balloonzilla creates balloon decor for all types of events. They have set the trends in the wedding industry with balloon installations for altars, entrance structures, backdrops, centerpieces, surprise balloon drops, and much, much more. They've been recognized and published in Martha Stewart's Weddings and People magazine, and have worked with celebrity clients as well as Fortune 500 companies, including Kobe Bryant, the Kardashians, LeBron James, the Obamas, Google, and Amazon, to name a few. They've also swiped right with events for Tinder. Balloonzilla was awarded ABC's Trendsetter of the Year award in 2018 and continues to push the design envelope with this fun and unique medium. In 2017, Marla was also nominated as one of Orange County's top women in business. Here's our conversation with the Chief Visionary Officer of Balloonzilla, Marla Morokoff.
Hi, Marla. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. So first, we're just going to go through a couple different questions for our speed round. They're just quick one-line answers. Just say whatever comes to mind, okay?
Okay.
Let's get right into it.
No pressure.
Who or what inspires you today?
Ooh. My kids inspire me.
Good answer. Not because they're right there, right?
Well, I get extra points for that.
Coffee Bean or Starbucks?
Ooh. Coffee Bean.
Circle K or 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven always.
Korean barbecue or pho?
Hell yeah, Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
If balloons could be scented, what would you want them to smell like?
Roses.
What's the weirdest thing you've made out of balloons?
Oh Lord, can I say this?
Yeah.
I did a bachelorette party once. Do I need to explain? Can I draw a picture?
You'll have to send us photos for us to post later.
Okay.
If you had to, would you rather make an alternative balloon installation out of whoopee cushions, condoms, or Ziploc bags?
Condoms.
Oh, very fun. Maybe at the next bachelorette party. Yeah.
See the track we're going down here?
It can only get better and better from here.
Right.
What was the last book that you read?
I'm reading Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, nice. And who's your favorite, Jacob or Noah?
Oh, depends on the day. Today, Jacob, because he's still awake.
Okay, good.
Lucy or Scout?
Oh, Lucy, it has to be Lucy.
And then if you and your husband had to switch hairstyles and go on a date that's not to the movie theater, where would you go?
The circus?
That's a good answer. That's a
Her.
good answer.
Love you, honey.
We're going to dive deep into the little details about Balloonzilla and your journey. You went to UC Riverside and you had a degree in biomedical sciences. Tell us a little bit about your past and what you did before getting into the industry.
So clearly, the biomedical thing was not for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how well you know me yet, but I would be a terrible doctor. But nothing but respect. But my path, I've always been really artistic, full styrofoam block on my left hemisphere. So I don't have any organizational skills at all. If you could see my desk right now, you'd know why. I tried to be a scientist. I tried to be a court reporter.
Wow.
I tried all sorts of things, and I couldn't fit that square peg into the round hole. I just couldn't do it.
You tried.
So I ended up finding balloons, and I fell in love.
So how did you find balloons, and how did you know it was your first love to dive into this?
You know, honestly, my husband and I owned a computer repair company in Pahrump, Nevada. It's a little tiny town in the middle of the desert, out in the middle of nowhere. And we went to a party and there was balloons and I fell madly in love with them. I knew that was my calling.
So how did you evolve Balloonzilla, which first started in your garage, to the massive empire that it is today?
Massive empire. Well, it might have been acceptable to call it that in February, but we're family now. But when we started out, actually, we bought a working business, a balloon business, and then it was a different company, and then we transformed that into a different business and also balloons only, but a different name. And then we finally came to Balloonzilla in 2011. We went back to our garage. We had a shop the whole time. We went back to our garage and restarted everything in 2011 and had like a full-blown reset. And then after that, we started building with more intent and more seriousness and more focus and with goals in mind rather than just kind of doing it to make the bills each week. And that's when we started growing, when we started realizing like you have to hire people to grow. You have to like expand yourself and not be afraid to spend money, which was my biggest fear. And then once we got going, it started like catching on. And also the trends helped us because in the beginning in 2004 until like 2011, 12, the only balloons I was selling was for carnivals and school graduations and like the classic stuff you would see, arches, car lots. And then one day somebody thought, oh, hey, how about organic decor? And then all of a sudden everything went crazy and it was really easy because I was already on the boat. So I just kept sailing down the river. It was much easier. People started accepting it more for weddings. It was a tough sell for weddings before that. I think if I did a dozen weddings before that, it would have been a lot. It was just keep going, keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And then one day I caught the current and yeehaw, here we go. So I was just prepared because we were very serious about the business. When other people were just starting up, we'd already had our feet on the ground for a long time, a lot of experience and a lot of failure, which was really beneficial to us because we already saw how not to do things, which was really helpful.
Yeah. Well, you touched upon doing a little bit more weddings recently. How many do you do weddings for balloons compared to other events?
So we're not counting COVID time in this because it's been a little wonky right now. But before that, we were probably doing about a quarter of our business was wedding related. So it was either the bachelorette party, the bridal shower, the like something wedding, or else the wedding itself. We did a lot of, and I don't know if you want to include wedding shows with that, but that is wedding related also.
Yeah, but it's definitely gotten more popular recently.
Yeah, for sure. We've done a million of them, but but I mean, it's all good. I enjoy showing people something that they've never seen before. That could be something. I mean, it's really hard to talk a bride into something that's non-conventional. They're very like they have that dream when they're a child, and they want that same image that they had from their princess dreams. So showing them and impressing them with something that they might consider is a big honor for me.
And what's your role in Balloonzilla, and what do you oversee exactly with the company?
I'm master of the world. I'm the creative. I'm the visionary, the creative director. So I handle pretty much everything that has to do with creating the product and quality control and making sure. My official title is sales and marketing, but I've always taken more of the role in the creative side of it. I love sales; it's great. I love people, so I enjoy the marketing. Not so much on the marketing. I do it, but I don't. But I like, I love the sales part of it because I love meeting with people and creating their design with them. Mm-hmm. So creative, visionary, something in that field would be my title. We're a small business. We have lots of hats.
And what hats aren't you allowed to wear at the office?
Okay, so it has nothing to do with money.
Not allowed to wear.
I suck at money. I don't ever want to touch the money. I barely even want to spend it. I'm not money girl. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. Anything with organizational, HR, blah, anything to do in a cubicle, I'm out. I don't even have a chair on my desk. I don't do anything with paperwork. Like if there's paperwork, don't count on me. I didn't read your email. I don't have that. I'm still in 4th grade on that one. So, not my skills.
And for the people who don't know, you work with Brian, which is your husband. How is it having him as your right-hand man at work and at home?
So it's different at home than at work is what I mean. Mm-hmm. We've always worked together with very, very short intervals of not working together. So we're very used to it. I think some people are just built that way. We shared a desk in the business for like 10 years. We were, it just works for us because we understand like at work is different than at home. When we're at work, it's like not personal. We don't take things personal. We can say like meaner things and not get stressed out about it. At home, if I said some of the things I say at work, I'd probably get fired as the wife. But
get the HR department.
It works.
Is there HR at home?
HR? No, he doesn't do HR either. He fires everybody. He's really not good at that either. But he's great at organization. So he loves charts and little boxes to fill in, and everything needs to be straight and organized. He can't take messy. He's really like the opposite of me. So our skills really work on each other. Honestly, when like February before, we barely saw each other. We were always passing in the night kind of thing. Even at home, we would rarely like spend time together because I worked on a different schedule than he did. So even now I work on a different schedule than he does. So we see each other at like for dinner most nights, but it's we just have different skills, way different skills. And I'm glad for that because if there couldn't be two of me in any relationship.
I think that's with everyone.
Right?
So how does one learn to balloon?
You made it a verb. I love that. So when people come to work for me, I usually train them, or I have somebody train them, and we have like videos. And if somebody weren't working for me and they wanted to learn to balloon, there's 1,000 million YouTube videos that they could look at to teach them like whatever they want to learn. There's so much information out there now. Even I watch them while I'm working to get ideas and get inspired, people from all over the world. So you can learn to do it without having a professional situation. The thing is, most people don't want to go through the effort. If you don't do this on the daily, it's a little bit intense, let's say, especially if you're also putting on a party to do your own balloons. If you just need a piece of garland, that's perfect. It's great. But if you need to do like some serious balloons, it makes more sense to hire somebody that does it on the daily. I could probably do it in half the time and make it look really professional.
What are some of the most challenging things that you've had to overcome with your company?
Pre-COVID, I would say staff. So teenagers are nothing compared to staff. Do I need to say anything more? They really teach you how to be a parent. And then the opposite is true also. Staffing is really, really hard. It's hard to get people as excited about your business as you are. And I don't think that's possible. And I understand that as a reality. But finding people that won't, let's just say, screw you is kind of like the most intense experience, because you believe in people so much. I say you, but I actually mean me. When I hire people, I think every person that walks through the door is going to be the most amazing person that ever came through our door. So I have this childish belief in people. And so it seems to stab me in the heart a lot. So I think that staffing would definitely be my first choice for the most intense experience. Just trusting people is really hard. They're strangers and they have their own path to go down, and they their own goals. And most of the time, this isn't their future. This is just where they're stopping through. And I respect that, and I understand that. I try to encourage them to keep on their path, even if it's not with me. But just it hurts a lot when people don't work out for me, because I get so attached to people. Yeah, that's my stuff, And
what are some of the most challenging projects that you've worked on?
Gosh, I've worked on a lot of really challenging things, but the weather is usually my enemy. That probably is the biggest challenge. And also traveling. Last year and year before, I did a lot of traveling with Balloonzilla. So I was doing balloons in Miami, in Las Vegas a lot. I did a bunch of events in Las Vegas. I've done like all over the country pretty much. And so learning to source outside of my normal resources is my favorite thing. I love the experience, but quite a challenge just to make sure I have everything I need. You can't really screw up when you're far away, but not that I screw up normally, but it happens. But weather right now is sucky. Like when it's 100 degrees out, my balloons just start exploding and I go crazy. It's very stressful. So weather.
Is there any way to combat that or to help?
Yeah, there's tricks. Little tricks you can do to make it better. I just have to keep remembering, because my back warehouse is air conditioned and it's super comfortable back there. I forget it's 100 degrees on the other side of the door. So I walk out the door last week with an arch, and the whole, all the letters started exploding. And I was like, because you just have to blow them smaller so when they expand, they can take it, Yeah, that was super amateur of me.
Well,
good.
Things happen.
Right? Let's just roll with that.
You're listening to The Wedding Remix. And now a few words from our sponsor. To Be Designed is San Diego's most unique and custom rental design house. TBD creates memorable moments by creating things their clients wish existed. To Be Designed started with offering unique selections of event rentals, and it is still the cornerstone of the business. From sofas to dining to custom bars, they have everything you need to bring your event to life. They are constantly updating the inventory to stay fresh and unique. Be sure to check them out at tbdsandiego.com. And now back to our conversation with Marla Morokoff from Balloonzilla.
Can you talk more about your mission to #spreading happiness?
Oh, I love it. So when COVID started, we all panicked. I was in Vegas at a show, and I remember just standing there in complete shock. I think we all remember where we were when we realized the NHL was closing for the season, right? So I was shocked as anybody. But then, I was with Shahira from Dirty Cookie, and I don't know if you know her, but she's amazing. And she's super positive, and I'm not all the time. And she was just pumping in the positive. You got to think of some way to spread happiness. You got to take it and run. And I just wanted to fall down. It was so intense, that feeling everything that I've built is closing, right? It's intense. And it took me a little while, a couple weeks to get over the shock of it. But my Spreading Happiness campaign is meant to continue celebrating, even if it's just within the families, to still have a feeling of joy when there's something to celebrate. Graduation season still happened. People still graduated. There's still birthdays and anniversaries and even more reasons to celebrate now, because, we're not so busy that we don't have time to do an anniversary anymore. So I've really been trying to just one by one bring a little joy into the households, especially when we were closed. I don't know where we are right now, but at that time we were closed. And so just dropping off bouquets on people's front doorsteps gives me a lot of joy, and when I see their reaction on the web or whatever, I get really excited about it. It spreads happiness more for me than them, but I think I make them a little bit happier even with their bad situations.
Yeah.
That's perfect because your balloons last for several months, so it's just there all the time in passing. So it definitely spreads happiness like every day, not just for that day of delivery.
Hey.
They really last that long?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, for my birthday balloons that Marla got me, it lasted like 3 months.
What?
Yeah, it was sitting in my office, and every day I would see the balloons, and I'm like, "Hi, Marla," in my head.
Man, it is better to hire a pro. Anytime I get balloons, it's like on the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for, right?
yeah, for sure. What is your favorite balloon installation?
I did the Obama victory party in '08. I'm aging myself a little bit, but it was for like 20,000 people. And I did balloon drops that looked like American flags. And it was like such a amazing, warm and wonderful feeling. I've never experienced anything like that moving in my life. But I mean, I've had 100 that have been emotional and powerful, and a lot of great charity work, and a lot of great, like, we've worked with a ton of charities, a ton of good reasons to celebrate. And I each one has a little piece, you know, of happiness for me. But that, if you ask me, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. The Obama victory party was amazing.
Sounds amazing. And then how did you feel when you booked your first celebrity event? I know you've done a lot of them.
Absolutely terrified. Celebrities are scary people. They're actually usually really nice, which is the ironic thing. They have non-disclosure agreements, so we can't really talk about who, like, name drop and everything. I'm not that girl anyway, but if I had to, I would say, no, I'm kidding.
What does it sound like?
Rhymes with. You know, we've had the pleasure of working with a lot of celebrities, and it's amazing. It's kind of surreal. It's fun. We got to work at the Playboy Mansion long after the Playboys were gone, and we got to work in the grotto. And I don't know if, like, you know what that's like, but my husband had to go on that one with me. He wasn't.
Poor Brian.
He must have loved it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was awesome. We've been to a lot of really, really cool places and met some really cool people, including like some big sports stars and some big movie show actors. The good thing is that me and Brian don't really know that many of them. Mm-hmm. So when we meet them, oftentimes we like have no idea who we're talking to, and they love it. So we tend to make friends really easily. It's fun. It just makes it a little more exciting, you know, and sometimes you get these neat opportunities. I'm not a huge fan of influencer kind of events because I like to be paid for my work. So I got over that pretty quick. That took about a year to get over, where I was like, oh, it's a name, I have to do it for free. But once one of the bigger stars uses us, then it seems like it just happens naturally. You don't really have to do it for free.
Mm-hmm. And what's one of the biggest challenges of working with celebrity clients?
They're very specific. And I like that in one sense. I enjoy somebody who knows exactly what they like and they can tell me. So when that happens, it's great. But when it doesn't happen, but they're still really specific, it makes me nuts because it takes like 800 emails to get one bouquet out. You know, like their planners and their people, their handlers kind of thing are terrified of them mostly. Sorry if I just offended like 800 people at one time. So they really want to make them super, super happy. So they're on it. They know every detail of their likes and dislikes, which is nice, but reading their minds is not my favorite thing to do. Yeah.
Do you ever do mock-ups for things like that then?
Sometimes they want that and I'll do it, but I'll do drawings. I do a lot of drawings. So, and I just discovered digital art like very recently. So I got this little cute tablet and I can draw my pictures on that. And I'm pretty excited about that because my crayons don't have to work anymore.
Crayons, wow.
You know, it's a living.
What are some advantages of being a small business in challenging and uncertain times?
So this is probably one of the more challenging times in my life. I've had a couple of resets. I consider myself fortunate for that. Except this time the whole world's resetting with me. Last time it was just us, just the family. So I have the experience of doing the reset before, so I'm a little bit at an advantage over people who haven't gone through this. I've never gone through COVID, obviously, but to go through full reset is a very challenging thing for the first time, and I have a lot of sympathy for people and empathy for people who are shocked and just like blown away by this is really happening. Where am I living right now? What twilight zone am I in? Because it doesn't feel right. It feels weird to not want more business. That's where I'm at right now. I can't handle any more by myself. So it's weird. I've hustled my whole life for more, and to not want that is a very twilight zone experience. So as far as resetting, I can tell you, like, from my experience, the positive side of it, as a small business, we can pivot so quickly. I mean, we have amazing opportunities to change the course of the business. Everything you thought was sucky before, get rid of it now. Like, this is the time. Nobody has any expectations of anybody right now. Rethink. I know everybody's saying retool and, all these webinars, and I don't really do that, but I think I feel like a lot of people are saying, oh, this is the time to retool everything and rethink what you want. How do you know what you want? We don't know where events are going to be and when they're coming back. Yeah. Like, we just don't know. There's no way to know. So my opinion, because I've gone through reset before, is to just relax and change as the change is needed. Just keep being okay with change. And it's a really uncomfortable feeling to not know where you're going and have no idea, when you've been so directional and goal oriented before, to all of a sudden have no idea what's going to happen. But the truth is, we can't control any of these things that are happening around us. We can't. There's no way. We can only take care of one person and, kind of yell at my kids a little bit, but I can't know what this world is going to bring next and what my business will even look like at the end of this. But I can control right now, and there's things I can do right now to make money, and there's things I can do right now to change the things that I think need changing and become more profitable. I feel like there was a lot of things we were doing wrong and we were on a bad course with that we got to completely change. Imagine like firing 29 people at one time, how intense that is, right? It's insanely intense and heartbreaking and emotional. But at the same time, I can now choose better and choose the things I want and the things I don't want. And before, I was kind of like stuck on the path and had to keep edging through things. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like now I can make more concrete decisions about things with a clearer mind, rather than having like the world going by at 80 miles per hour and everything's on the fly all the time, always short of sleep, always kind of just surviving and figuring out how to pay the bills. And now it's like I can choose what I want more carefully. I can choose the life that I want to live and the schedule that I want to keep. And I think that that's a big bonus for this time. I'm not a planner, so I can't imagine what it's like in that world, because there's definitely different opportunities for them than there is for me as a balloon artist. But I also think I'm excited to create, and if it's now or if it's later, I'm still excited, just as excited to create. And I'm hoping that we come back from this bigger than we could have ever imagined.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I love that you're continuing to stay positive and optimistic towards the future, and it's just all you can do right now. Right. And who knows, maybe this is the best thing that ever happened to you. Right? Like, How do we know? We don't know what the end of this looks like. The last time that we struggled with this problem, we thought it was the end of the world. And then at the end of it, we realized, holy moly, this is the best thing that ever happened to us. We never would have gotten out of the hole we were in had we not had that opportunity to reset. So it's not a negative, it's a positive. It's just, you have to just let the world happen. You can't control it. That's the bottom line. Perspective and trying to find that silver lining.
God.
Be patient, Marla. Balloonzilla 2.0 will happen very soon. So we want to know what's next for Balloonzilla.
I got ideas. I've been creating, so we're pivoting a lot right now away from events and toward deliveries. And that's not like that's forever. We don't know where this leads, but for right now, that's what we're doing. So we're creating a new website right now. That's crazy cool, I think. I mean, we'll see what everybody else thinks. But we're trying to change the world. So I got plans to make things different and I'm always trying to work on making people believe in what I do. So I think you're going to see some cool things coming up pretty soon.
Ooh, this is exciting.
I'm going to leave it dangling right there.
You mentioned something about franchising in the future. How soon can we start putting money in the pot to start doing balloons and help spread happiness?
The plan was that in April 1st, we were supposed to open our first franchise. So we had to pull that back, obviously. So we'll be ready when the time is right. When we see the opportunity, we're going to jump in. We, as far as Balloonzilla goes, Brian and I believe that the balloon industry is just still a secret. Not out there yet. There's no leader in our industry. There's nobody that you could tell me that does balloons other than me.
I think you're the leader in the industry with this.
Yeah. That counts for extra points. So I feel like the branding is everything for me. So I'm really, as far as franchising goes, that's to create the branding that people, when they think of balloons, they think of Balloonzilla.
Well, Marla, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else that you want to share with us that we haven't asked?
Just stay positive. I mean, reach out to me if you want a little injection of happy. I'm happy to talk. I have just keep watching, keep looking at what people are doing. I see a lot of amazing things that people are doing during this time. They're coming up with some things that are like mind-blowing. I love how much people are sharing information. So keep sharing, and there's enough for everybody. It will happen for all of us. Just don't be afraid of it. Just keep going.
Keep going.
Keep on swimming. Well, we appreciate your time, Marla. We know you have tons of deliveries and you need to feed your boys. We love you and continue spreading happiness. Thank you for spreading happiness through our podcast, and we can't wait to collaborate with you soon.
Let's do it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, thank you for tuning in. See you next time. This is the Wedding Remix. Yeah. See you next time, everybody. Woo!